Cunha and Mbeumo show their class. The big difference in United's 4-2 win over Brighton. Welcome to United News, your trusted source for all things Red Devils. Hello and welcome back to United News, the place where every Manchester United fan comes to get the real story. We know you have plenty of options when it comes to United news, but we are committed to bringing you honest, clear, and detailed coverage of everything that matters at Old Trafford. Whether it is match analysis, transfer news, or manager updates, we have got you covered. Our team works hard to make sure you get the facts without the noise. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let us dive into what was a brilliant day for Manchester United. The story that has everyone talking. Have you been wondering if the new signings would finally click? Have you questioned whether United made the right choice bringing in Cunha and Mbeumo during the summer? Well, the 4-2 victory over Brighton at Old Trafford has given us some very clear answers. Both players were not just good. They were outstanding. They were the difference makers. They were the players who stepped up when it mattered most. Neville, a man who knows a thing or two about winning at Manchester United, was on commentary duty for this match. And he could not hide his excitement about what these two new boys are bringing to the team. According to Neville, Cunha and Mbeumo are making a big difference at United. He said they always seem to be involved in United's best attacking moments. And when you look at the numbers and watch the game back, it is hard to argue with him. This was not just any win. This was United's third victory in a row under manager Ruben Amorim. That might not sound like breaking news to some, but it is actually the first time Amorim has managed to string together 3 wins since taking charge at Old Trafford. That tells you something important. Something is starting to work. The pieces are beginning to fit together. And right at the heart of this improvement are 2 players who arrived with big expectations and are now starting to deliver. Breaking down the match. How it all unfolded. Let us take you through what happened on that exciting afternoon at Old Trafford. Brighton came to town with their own plans, but United had other ideas. The match kicked off with both teams looking to control the ball and create chances. But it was Manchester United who struck first, and it was that man Cunha who opened his account for his new club. Cunha opens his United account. In the 24th minute, Cunha received the ball in a dangerous position. His first touch was perfect. Not too heavy, not too soft. Just right. It set him up beautifully to take a shot. And what a shot it was. He curled the ball with his right foot, sending it spinning toward the corner of the net. The Brighton goalkeeper had no chance. The ball nestled into the bottom corner, and Old Trafford erupted. This was Cunha's first goal for Manchester United. Every player remembers their first goal for a new club. It is a special moment. But what made this goal even better was how he scored it. There was no panic, no rushed decision, just a calm, composed finish from a player who knows exactly what he is doing in front of goal. Cunha came to United with a reputation as a creative and clever forward. He had done well at Wolverhampton Wanderers before making the move to Old Trafford. Many fans wondered if he could handle the pressure of playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. This goal showed that he can. This goal showed that he belongs at this level. Casemiro doubles the lead. Just 10 minutes after Cunha's opener, United doubled their advantage. This time it was the experienced Casemiro who got his name on the scoresheet. In the 34th minute, Casemiro struck a shot that took a deflection and wrong-footed the Brighton goalkeeper. Suddenly, United were 2 goals up and looking comfortable. Casemiro has been at United for a few seasons now. He has had his ups and downs. Some people have questioned whether he still has what it takes to perform at the highest level week in and week out. But goals like this remind everyone that he is still a top player. He might not have the legs he once did, but his experience and quality are still there for all to see. With a 2-goal cushion, you might think United would sit back and defend. But that is not the style Ruben Amorim wants his team to play. He wants them to keep attacking, keep creating chances, and keep putting pressure on the opposition. And that is exactly what they did. Mbeumo joins the party. The second half began with United still in control. Brighton had not really threatened too much in the first half, but everyone who watches football knows that a 2-goal lead can disappear quickly if you are not careful. United needed a 3rd goal to kill the game off. And in the 61st minute, they got it. Bryan Mbeumo picked up the ball and took a good first touch to set himself. Then he took another touch to get into the right position. He had options. He could have passed. He could have tried to dribble past another defender. But he saw his opportunity and took it. He squeezed a shot through the defenders and passed the goalkeeper at the near post. It was clever. It was instinctive. It was exactly what United needed. This was Mbeumo's first goal for Manchester United, and what a way to announce yourself to the Old Trafford faithful. The crowd loved it. His teammates loved it. And you could see from his celebration that he loved it too. Mbeumo had been one of the most consistent performers in the Premier League during his time at Brentford. Season after season, he scored goals and created chances for his teammates. When United decided to bring him to Old Trafford, many fans were excited. They knew they were getting a player who could deliver in the big moments. This goal proved them right. Brighton fight back. Football is never straightforward. Is it? Just when you think the game is won, something happens to make your heart race. As the match entered stoppage time, Brighton suddenly found some life. They scored not once, but twice in quick succession. First, Danny Welbeck, the former Manchester United striker, pulled one back for Brighton. Welbeck knows all about playing at Old Trafford. He spent several years at United before moving on to Arsenal and later Brighton. He celebrated his goal, but you could tell there was still respect there for his old club. Then, just moments later, Charalampos Costellas scored another for Brighton. Suddenly, the score was 3-2. Suddenly, United fans were getting nervous. What had looked like a comfortable win was now anything but comfortable. Brighton had momentum, they had belief, and they had a few more minutes to try and find an equalizer. Mbeumo seals the deal. But this is where champions show their quality. This is where match winners step up. And Bryan Mbeumo did exactly that. Deep into added time, with Brighton pushing forward looking for an equalizer, United won the ball back and broke forward on the counterattack. The ball found its way to Mbeumo, and he did not hesitate. He rifled a shot into the back of the net for his second goal of the game. That was it. Game over. United had won 4-2. The 3 points were secured. And Mbeumo had written himself into United folklore with 2 goals on a day when his team really needed him to deliver. Scoring 1 goal in a match is great. Scoring 2 is special. But scoring the goal that seals the victory when your team is under pressure? That is what separates good players from great players. And Mbeumo showed he has that quality. What Gary Neville said, why his words matter. Gary Neville is not just any pundit. He is a Manchester United legend. He spent his entire playing career at Old Trafford, winning everything there is to win. He knows what it takes to succeed at this club. He knows the pressure. He knows the expectations. So when he speaks about United, people listen. During his commentary on this match, Neville made some interesting observations about Cunha and Mbeumo. He said that both players are reaching their level with United. What does that mean? It means they are starting to show their true quality. It means they are getting comfortable in their new surroundings. It means they are beginning to understand what their manager wants from them. Neville also pointed out that these 2 players always seem to be involved in United's best attacking moments. Think about that for a second. Not sometimes involved. Not occasionally involved. Always involved. That tells you something important about their influence on the team. When United create chances, these 2 are usually somewhere in the middle of it. But perhaps the most interesting thing Neville said was this: if they can find a way to click, it will make a big difference. Now, you might be thinking they both scored in this game, so haven't they already clicked? Well, yes and no. They both had excellent individual performances. But what Neville is talking about is something more. He is talking about a partnership. He is talking about understanding each other's movement. He is talking about knowing where your teammate will be before they even get there. The best attacking partnerships in football history have had that quality. Think about York and Cole. Think about Rooney and Ronaldo. Think about Salah and Mane. These partnerships worked because the players understood each other. They knew each other's games inside out. And that is what Neville believes Cunha and Mbeumo can develop at United. At the end of the match, Neville summed it up perfectly. He said it had been a good day for Mbeumo and Cunha. He said it had been a good day for Ruben Amorim. And he was absolutely right. This was the kind of performance that builds confidence. This was the kind of result that creates momentum. This was the kind of day that makes you believe better things are coming. The numbers tell the story. Sometimes you watch a match and think a player was good, but then you look at the statistics and realize they were even better than you thought. That is exactly what happened when we looked at the numbers for Cunha and Mbeumo in this game. According to SofaScore, which rates player performances based on various factors, Cunha received a rating of 8.8 out of 10. That is an excellent rating. But Mbeumo went even higher with a rating of 9.8 out of 10. That is almost perfect. That is the kind of rating you get when you have a truly outstanding game. Let us break down what these two players did during the match. Mbeumo had the most shots on target in the entire game with 3. That means every time he hit the target, he was causing problems for the Brighton goalkeeper. Cunha was not far behind with 2 shots on target. Between them, they were constantly testing the opposition defense and goalkeeper. Mbeumo also hit the woodwork once. That means he came very close to scoring a hat-trick. On another day, with a bit more luck, he could have walked away with 3 goals instead of 2. But even without that extra goal, his performance was brilliant. What about their passing? This is important because forwards are not just about scoring goals. They also need to help the team keep possession and create chances for their teammates. Mbeumo's pass accuracy was 89%. That means nearly 9 out of every 10 passes he attempted found a teammate. Cunha was just behind at 88%. Those are very good numbers for attacking players who are often trying difficult passes in tight spaces. Dribbling is another important part of a forward's game. Can you beat your man? Can you create space for yourself or for your teammates? Mbeumo completed 4 out of 5 dribbles successfully. That is an 80% success rate. Cunha completed 2 out of 3, which is around 67%. Again, these are strong numbers that show both players were willing to take on defenders and try to make things happen. But here is what really matters. When good things happened for United in this match, these 2 summer signings were at the center of it. They were not passengers. They were not just filling in. They were driving the team forward and making things happen. 3 wins in a row. Why this matters for Amorim. Let us talk about the manager for a moment. Ruben Amorim arrived at Manchester United with a big reputation. He had done brilliant things at Sporting CP in Portugal. He had won league titles. He had developed young players. He had created an exciting style of football that fans loved to watch. But everyone knows that succeeding in Portugal is one thing. Succeeding at Manchester United is something else entirely. The pressure at Old Trafford is enormous. You are not just managing a football club. You are managing an institution. You are managing expectations from millions of fans around the world. You are managing a club that expects to win trophies every season. That pressure can crush even the best managers if they are not ready for it. Amorim's start at United has been mixed. There have been good performances and disappointing ones. There have been moments when you could see what he is trying to build, and moments when it looked like nothing was working. That is normal when a new manager comes in. It takes time to implement your ideas. It takes time for players to adapt to a new system. It takes time for everything to click into place. But this 3-game winning streak is significant. Why? Because it is the first time Amorim has managed to put together 3 consecutive victories since taking charge. That might not sound like much, but it is actually very important. It shows that the team is starting to understand what the manager wants. It shows that the players are buying into his methods. It shows that progress is being made. Consistency is everything in football. You cannot win trophies by beating the big teams one week and then losing to teams you should beat the next week. You need to build momentum. You need to create a winning habit. You need to make sure that when you get a good result, you follow it up with another one. That is what champions do. And that is what United are starting to do under Amorim. The inclusion of Cunha and Mbeumo has clearly helped. Fresh faces can energize a dressing room. New players bring new ideas and new energy. They also bring competition for places, which makes everyone in the squad raise their game. No one wants to lose their place in the team to a new signing, so everyone works harder in training and performs better in matches. Amorim deserves credit for how he has integrated these two players into the team. It is not easy to bring in new signings and make them instant successes. Some managers struggle with this. They either play the new signings too much and upset the players who were already there, or they do not play them enough and waste the talent they have brought in. Amorim seems to have found the right balance. He is giving Cunha and Mbeumo opportunities to show what they can do. He is putting them in positions where they can succeed. And he is building a system that plays to their strengths. That is good management. That is why United fans are starting to believe that Amorim might be the right man to take this club back to the top. What this means for United's season. So where does this leave Manchester United? What does this victory and this 3-game winning streak mean for the rest of the season? Let us think about this carefully. First of all, United are building confidence. That might sound like a small thing, but it is actually huge. Confidence in football is everything. When players believe in themselves and believe in their teammates, they play better. They take more risks. They try things they might not try when they are low on confidence. They play with freedom and joy instead of fear and worry. You could see that confidence in this match against Brighton. United did not panic when Brighton scored twice in stoppage time. They did not start defending deep and hoping to hold on. Instead, they kept playing their game. They kept looking for opportunities to hurt Brighton on the counterattack. And when that opportunity came, Mbeumo took it. That is confidence. That is belief. Second, United now have genuine attacking threats from multiple positions. For too long, United have relied too heavily on one or two players to create and score goals. If those players have an off day or get injured, the whole team struggles. But now, with Cunha and Mbeumo added to the mix, there are more options. There are more ways to hurt the opposition. There are more players who can step up and make the difference. That is crucial if United want to challenge for trophies this season. You cannot win anything with just one or two good players. You need strength in depth. You need multiple players who can change games. You need different options for different situations. And United are starting to build that. Third, this result temporarily moved United into 4th place in the Premier League table. Now, things change quickly in football, and United might have dropped back down by the time you read this. But being in the top 4 conversation is important. It shows that United are competitive. It shows that they are in the mix for Champions League qualification. It shows that they are moving in the right direction. Champions League football is important for a club like Manchester United. Not just for the prestige but also for the money it brings in and for attracting top players. The best players in the world want to play in the Champions League. If United are not in that competition, it becomes much harder to sign the players they want. So every point earned in the league matters. Every win brings them closer to that goal. The road ahead, what challenges await? Of course, it would be silly to get too carried away with one result or even 3 wins in a row. Football has a way of bringing you back down to earth quickly. There are still big challenges ahead for United and for these new signings. One challenge is consistency. Can Cunha and Mbeumo do this week after week? Can they perform at this level not just against Brighton but against Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and all the other top teams in the league? That is what will determine whether they become United legends or just good players who had some nice moments. Another challenge is staying fit and avoiding injuries. Football is a physical game, and the schedule is relentless. United will play a lot of matches this season. Cup competitions, European football if they qualify, and of course the league. That is a lot of games in a short period of time. Players get tired. Players pick up knocks and injuries. Can Cunha and Mbeumo handle that workload? Can they stay healthy throughout the season? These are important questions. There is also the challenge of adapting to different tactical situations. Teams will study how United play. They will study how Cunha and Mbeumo operate. They will come up with plans to stop them. Good players adapt to these challenges. They find new ways to hurt the opposition when the old ways are no longer working. Average players get found out and stop being effective. Which category will these two fall into? Time will tell. And let us not forget that football is a team game. Cunha and Mbeumo can be brilliant individually, but they need their teammates to also perform. They need good service from midfield. They need the defense to be solid so the team is not constantly chasing games. They need the goalkeeper to make saves when called upon. A team is only as strong as its weakest link, so everyone needs to pull in the same direction. Why these signings feel different? Manchester United have made a lot of signings over the years. Some have worked out brilliantly. Others have been disasters. So what makes Cunha and Mbeumo feel different? Why do so many people believe these two can be success stories at Old Trafford? First, both players were already proven in the Premier League before joining United. Cunha had done well at Wolves. Mbeumo had been excellent at Brentford. They were not unknown quantities. They were not young prospects taking a gamble. They were established Premier League players who knew the league, knew the demands, and knew what it takes to succeed in English football. That matters. Second, both players seem to fit the style of football Amorim wants to play. They are mobile, they are creative, they can play in multiple positions, and they work hard for the team. Modern football is not just about talented individuals. It is about finding players who fit your system. It is about building a team where everyone complements each other. Cunha and Mbeumo seem to fit that description perfectly. Third, and perhaps most importantly, both players seem to have the right mentality. They are not coming to United thinking the hard work is done. They are not resting on their reputations. They are hungry. They want to prove themselves at the highest level. They want to win trophies. That attitude is infectious. It spreads through a dressing room and lifts everyone's standards. You can see it in how they play. Mbeumo did not stop running in this match even when United were 3-0 up. Cunha was still tracking back and helping the defense even after he had scored. These are small things, but they are important things. They show that these players understand what it means to play for Manchester United. They understand that talent alone is not enough. You need to work hard. You need to fight for every ball. You need to give everything for the shirt. What the fans are saying. Go on any United fan forum or social media page right now and you will see excitement. Genuine excitement. After years of disappointment and false dawns, United fans are starting to believe again. They are starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this team can challenge for major honors. The reaction to Cunha and Mbeumo has been overwhelmingly positive. Fans love what they are seeing from these two players. They love the energy. They love the skill. They love the goals. But most of all, they love the fact that these players seem to care. They seem to understand the size of the club they are playing for. They seem to appreciate the opportunity they have been given. One fan wrote, "Finally we have forwards who can actually finish chances. It has been so long since we had players who looked confident in front of goal. Cunha and Mbeumo are giving us exactly what we have been missing." Another fan commented, "The difference with these two is they do not disappear when things get tough. So many of our players over the years have gone missing in big moments. But Mbeumo scoring that fourth goal when Brighton were coming back at us, that shows character. That shows he has what it takes." And another fan said, "I love how they are always involved. Even when they are not scoring, they are creating chances for others or tracking back to help the defense. That is what we need. Players who give everything for 90 minutes. Of course, not everyone is completely convinced yet. Some fans are more cautious. They remember other new signings who started well and then faded away. They remember the disappointment of getting excited too early. One fan wrote, "Let us see how they do over a full season before we start calling them legends." But yes, it is a promising start. That is fair enough. Football fans have been hurt before. They have learned to be cautious. But even the skeptics are starting to come around. Even the people who were unsure about these signings are starting to admit that maybe the club got these ones right. Comparing them to past United forwards. It is impossible to talk about new Manchester United forwards without comparing them to the legends who came before. United have had some of the greatest strikers in football history. From Bobby Charlton to Dennis Law to Eric Cantona to Ruud van Nistelrooy to Wayne Rooney to Cristiano Ronaldo. The list of brilliant forwards who have worn the red shirt is long and impressive. So how do Cunha and Mbeumo compare? Well, it is far too early to put them in that category. They have only just arrived at the club. They have a long way to go before they can be mentioned in the same breath as those legends. But what they are showing is promising. They have the attitude that all great United forwards have had. They want the ball in dangerous areas. They are willing to take responsibility. They are not afraid to try things and make mistakes. These are all qualities that the United legends had. They also seem to understand the weight of the shirt. Playing for Manchester United is different from playing for any other club. The pressure is different. The expectations are different. The scrutiny is different. Not every player can handle that. But Cunha and Mbeumo look comfortable. They look like they belong. If they can maintain this level of performance, if they can keep scoring goals and creating chances, if they can help United win trophies, then one day they might be remembered as great United forwards. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. Let us enjoy what they are doing now and hope it continues. The tactical impact, how they change United's play. Let us talk about tactics for a moment. Football is not just about individual talent. It is also about how players work together as a unit. It is about systems and patterns of play. It is about creating situations where your talented players can hurt the opposition. Amorim has a clear idea of how he wants his United team to play. He wants them to be aggressive without the ball, pressing high and winning it back quickly. He wants them to be quick in transition, moving the ball forward rapidly when they win possession. And he wants them to be creative in the final third, with players who can make things happen in tight spaces. Cunha and Mbeumo fit this system perfectly. Their energy levels allow them to press from the front for 90 minutes. Their pace allows them to hurt teams on the counterattack. Their technique allows them to receive the ball in tight areas and still create chances. And their intelligence allows them to make the right decisions at the right time. What is particularly interesting is how they work in different areas of the pitch. Cunha is comfortable dropping deeper to link play. He can receive the ball with his back to goal, hold it up, and bring teammates into the game. Mbeumo is more direct. He loves running in behind defenders and stretching the opposition. Together, they give defenses different problems to worry about. This variety is crucial. If you only have one type of forward, defenses can adjust and shut you down. But when you have forwards who offer different threats, it becomes much harder to defend against. Do you drop deep to prevent the runs in behind? Then Cunha has space to operate between the lines. Do you push up to stop Cunha linking play? Then Mbeumo can exploit the space behind you. It is a difficult problem for opposition managers to solve. What this means for other players. The arrival and success of Cunha and Mbeumo does not just affect those two players. It affects the entire squad. Other forwards at United now know they have serious competition for places. They need to perform or they will lose their spot in the team. That is healthy. That is how top clubs operate. Players like Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund are now under more pressure. They cannot afford to have off days because there are quality players ready to take their places. This competition should bring out the best in everyone. It should raise standards across the board. For the midfielders, having forwards like Cunha and Mbeumo ahead of them makes their job easier. They know if they can get the ball to these two in good positions, chances will be created. That gives them confidence to be more ambitious with their passing. It encourages them to take more risks because they trust the forwards to make something happen. For the defenders, knowing that the team has attacking quality takes some pressure off them. They do not need to panic if the opposition has a period of pressure because they know United have the ability to score at the other end. That allows them to stay calm and stick to their defensive principles. This is how good teams work. Every signing, every improvement in one area, has a positive knock-on effect throughout the entire squad. That is what United are building. That is what Amorim is creating. The bigger picture, building for the future. This match against Brighton and the performances of Cunha and Mbeumo should be seen as part of a bigger picture. United are not just trying to win one game or have one good season. They are trying to build something sustainable. They are trying to create a team that can challenge for the biggest trophies year after year. That requires patience. It requires making the right signings. It requires developing a clear playing style. It requires building team spirit and togetherness. It requires everything to come together at the right time. The early signs are promising. Amorim seems to be the right manager for this project. He has a clear vision for how he wants United to play. He is making good decisions in the transfer market. He is getting the best out of his players. And crucially, the players seem to be responding to his methods. Cunha and Mbeumo are important pieces of this puzzle. They are not the finished article. There is still work to do. But they are talented players who are committed to making this project succeed. If they can continue performing at this level, if they can help United start winning trophies again, then these summer signings will be remembered as turning points in the club's history. Lessons from Brighton's fight. Before we finish, it is worth mentioning Brighton's performance in this match. Yes, they lost 4-2, but they showed real character to fight back when the game looked over. They did not give up. They kept believing, and they very nearly made it a nervy finish for United. There are lessons here for United. The first lesson is that you can never relax in football. A 3-goal lead can disappear quickly if you stop doing the basics right. United learned this when Brighton scored twice in stoppage time. They were reminded that you need to stay focused until the final whistle. The second lesson is that you need to be able to respond when the pressure is on. Brighton's goals could have sparked a panic. United could have retreated into their shell and invited more pressure. But instead, they stayed calm and scored a 4th goal to kill the game off. That is the sign of a team that is growing and developing. The third lesson is about respect. Brighton are not one of the traditional big clubs, but they are a well-organized team with good players. You cannot take any opponent lightly in the Premier League. United treated Brighton with respect, played their own game, and came away with the 3 points. That is how you build consistency. Final thoughts. Why this feels like a turning point. So what have we learned from this match? What does it tell us about Manchester United and their future? Here are the key takeaways. First, Cunha and Mbeumo look like excellent signings. They have the talent, the attitude, and the intelligence to succeed at the highest level. If they can stay fit and maintain this level of performance, they will be key players for United in the years to come. Second, Ruben Amorim is making progress. 3 wins in a row might not sound like much, but it is a step in the right direction. He is building momentum. He is getting his ideas across to the players. He is creating a team that looks like it knows what it is doing. Third, United have reasons to be optimistic about the rest of the season. They are playing with confidence. They have multiple attacking threats. They are creating chances and scoring goals. If they can tighten up defensively and avoid giving away soft goals, they could be in for a good season. Fourth, there is still work to do. This was one match, one good performance. United need to build on this. They need to keep winning. They need to prove that this is not a false dawn but the start of something real. Gary Neville's comments during this match were significant. When a United legend talks about players making a big difference, you pay attention. When he says that if Cunha and Mbeumo click, it will be important for the team, he is speaking from experience. He knows what great partnerships look like. He knows what it takes to win at United. And he sees something special developing here. Come back for more at Unite United News. Thank you for spending your time with us here at Unite United News. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into United's victory over Brighton and the performances of Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. This is the kind of detailed, thoughtful analysis we pride ourselves on delivering to you every single day. We know you have choices when it comes to Manchester United news, but we believe Unite United News offers something different. We do not just report the scores and the headlines. We dig deeper. We look at the tactics, the performances, the stats, and what it all means for the future of this great club. We are not here to create drama or controversy just for clicks. We are here to give you honest, clear analysis that helps you understand what is really happening at Manchester United. Whether it is good news or bad news, we will always give it to you straight. So please, make Unite United News your first stop for everything Manchester United. Bookmark our page. Follow us on social media. Share our articles with your fellow United fans. And most importantly, keep coming back. Because we will be here every day, bringing you the stories that matter and the analysis that helps you understand the beautiful game we all love. The journey back to the top for Manchester United continues. There will be more ups and downs along the way. There will be great victories and disappointing defeats. But through it all, Unite United News will be here, keeping you informed and helping you make sense of it all. Cunha and Mbeumo have given us a glimpse of what might be possible. They have shown us that maybe, just maybe, United are on the right track. Now we need to see if they can keep it going. Can they do this week after week? Can they help United win silverware? Can they become the heroes that this club desperately needs? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. It will be exciting to watch. And we will be here every step of the way, bringing you all the news, analysis, and insights you need. Because that is what we do at United News. That is our promise to you. That is why you can trust us to keep you informed about everything Manchester United. Until next time, keep believing, keep supporting, and keep coming back to United News, your trusted source for all things Red Devils. Glory, glory, Man United.